a brand new episode of Smile with Prachi. This is Prachi. And before I start with today's letters, for all those of you who are new on this channel, we read out letters and we talk about life and things in general. Just keep watching, you'll figure it out, okay? So before we start with today's letters, I just want to share something with you all, okay? So this morning I was just going through something somewhere and I started reading the comment section, and now this is something that we have talked about before, guys. Honestly, when it comes to feminism, I think the concept has been really messed up, especially of late. To be very honest, I think a lot of people confuse feminism with men hating and men bashing. That's not what feminism is. It's not about thinking that all men are bad. In fact, most men are really good people. You know, they respect women and they care about their women. If you feel like you're constantly surrounded by the wrong kind of men who just want one thing from you, there is a very good chance that you are associating yourself with the wrong kind of men. Subconsciously, do you seek out bad boys? Is there a kind of thrill you feel with the bad boys? Or do you want to associate yourself with the bad boys because somewhere deep inside you want to change them and it makes you feel good? Try to draw parallels between your various experiences and the kind of men in your life. If you feel that all men are bad and that you're constantly being hurt by men, you need to really sit down and understand what subconscious games your mind is playing with you. And why are you constantly surrounded by these kind of men? What is it that you're really looking for? Because quite honestly, I think most men are really good people. And just like with women, this applies to basically both genders. There are good people and then there are some people who need to be corrected. That's all that there is. As for feminism itself, it's about equality. It's about things like saying, okay, I deserve an equal pay for the same work that a man is doing. So talking about equal pay. Saying that women deserve to be able to walk on the streets without feeling threatened. That we deserve stricter laws against rapists. Things like that. That a woman should not be harassed by her in-laws for dowry. That's what feminism is all about. It's not about women hating on men. A lot of men can also be feminists. In fact, a lot of men are feminists because they do stand for women's rights. Right? So let's not turn this into a war between the two genders. That way, the human civilization will never be at peace. Now, moving to today's letters. Let's start with which letter do I want to read out for this? Let's read out this letter in front of me, okay? So starting with the first letter of the day, let's call our first writer Lamp. Okay, there's a lamp in front of me, so Lamp. Lamp says, "Hi Prachi. I think my younger sister is pregnant. She's 14 years old and very reckless and impulsive. She recently fell for this absolutely loser guy. And I'm quite certain they were meeting in secret just before the lockdown happened a few weeks ago. I'm now noticing her being irritable with a terrible temper and regular morning sickness. She's always so anxious, like about to cry. However, the biggest tip-off has been, well, so our period dates always clash. This time, I didn't see her discarding any black bags of wrapped up used garbage and trash. And not even till now. She clearly missed her periods. We also share the same bathroom and I noticed a small torn off flap in the dustbin. This flap is from a box definitely resembling Prega News. She's constantly unwell and locked away in her room. She also offhandedly asked me once if I know a good gynecologist because she wanted to ask about itching, but then quickly changed the topic before I could talk to her about it. Then she made me swear I won't tell mom about the conversation and went away. Our parents are very strict, so we keep our distance. And I don't have a good relationship with my sister either. Ours is a family that is always fighting, so nobody can ask for help like ever. But this is serious matter and I want to help her if she has gotten herself into a mess. How do I approach this topic? Lamp, before I get started, let me just warn you that yes, this is a very serious matter. If she is pregnant, this is a very serious matter and you need to move very fast. Okay, you can't waste time. Like, after this video, just sit down, think about the situation and start acting upon it as soon as possible. Okay, now the first thing you can do is, since your sister did mention a gynecologist and all of that, you can start the topic yourself. So next time, you see her around or if she is just hanging out in her room, just go to her room and say, this is the gynecologist's number. Don't ask her if she wants it. Just go and say, you were talking about a gynecologist, right? How's the skin itching problem or whatever it was, that she had mentioned. And just say that this is the gynecologist's number. She's very good. Tell her this. Tell her this and be very careful with your words. Give her the gynecologist's number and say, this is my gynecologist. She's very good, by the way. I have known her since I was a teenager myself. And she deals with teenage issues, teenage pregnancy. One of my friends, she got pregnant. She helped her. She can deal with vaginal infections. She can help in dealing with STDs. She's just very good, non-judgmental, and you can really speak to her. You just tell her that very casually, like mention a few gynecology related issues and just very casually drop in teen pregnancy also, and just tell her that she's non-judgmental, she's good. Find a good, if you already have a good gynecologist in your contacts, nothing like it, or just find someone. Talk to some gynecologist on the phone. Let her know that there is a possibility that your sister might be pregnant, and if she approaches you, please don't be judgmental. Try to help her out. Whatever, just speak to the gynecologist once to ensure that she's not going to scare her away, and then just give the number. Okay, do that. Give the gynecologist's number immediately, and do your research, and just very casually let her know that she also deals with teen pregnancy. Number one, that'll probably lead her on the right track. Number two, now this one can kind of be a little obvious for your sister, but it's okay. You're just trying to help her out. She'll probably understand that you're doing this on purpose, but do it anyway. So next time, say you both are sitting across the table, she's doing her homework, you're completing your project work, whatever. Just have a pretend phone call with a friend. Okay, or maybe just get one of your friends to have this phone conversation with you. That's actually better if you can do that. And just have a fake phone conversation so that she can hear you. She's right there. And start having a normal conversation, start talking about some friend, make up a name or something, and say, oh, by the way, how is she doing these days? God, that pregnancy thing was really scary, right? I'm so glad we could help her out. And again, be very careful with the words you pick up. But when you're talking about this, mention these things. Mention, I'm so glad we could help her out. I don't understand why there is so much of prejudice. I'm glad she took help. And, just mention it in such a way so that your sister knows that you're non-judgmental and you have helped people in the past with these things. You know what is to be done. Okay, do that. Have this fake conversation in front of your sister. Give the gynecologist's number today itself. That you need to do right now. And this fake conversation you can have in the evening or tomorrow, but do it as fast as possible. If possible, like if you have mentioned that you're not very close with your sister, but do you watch movies randomly, watch movies together and things like that? Maybe somebody sitting on the couch watching a movie and the other person just joins in. If that is something that happens in your family a lot, maybe you can just turn on a documentary about teen pregnancy and things like that, because I'm also very concerned about her trying out home remedies for pregnancy. A lot of girls, they try random over-the-counter medicines and they can be very, very dangerous. So something that will help her understand that over-the-counter medicines and these home remedies is not the way to go for pregnancy. If she wants to abort the pregnancy, if she wants to terminate the pregnancy, she has to go through a medical route. Okay, if you can do that, do that. Again, there is a good chance she'll understand that you have your doubts, but it still opens up an option for her to ask you for help. And if you still see a couple of days passing by and nothing happening, for instance, if you have a feeling that she has not spoken to a doctor, or if she has refused to take the gynecologist's number, if she doesn't ask you for help, and if the whole cycle continues, just go and ask her up front. Sit down with her and say that, are you in some kind of a trouble? You seem to be constantly unwell. Did you miss your periods? Is your health okay? She'll probably try to deflect the topic, not talk about it, and say, oh, I'm fine, and just try to walk away, and just say, sit down, I'm trying to talk to you about something over here. I want you to know that even I belong to this generation, even I am a woman, and I understand that sometimes we make bad choices in life, but it's okay to ask for help. I'm here for you, and obviously I'll not tell our parents because I know how strict they are. You can come and ask me for help if you need something, you know that, right? And try to have this conversation with her. Confront her directly if nothing else seems to be working. Okay? And please come back, write to me. Like, I know after you watch this video, you will try, I'm sure you will try it out. Please come back and let me know how things are with your sister. If things don't improve, if it gets too difficult, maybe in my next Smile with Prachi video we can do something else about it as well. Maybe I can make a video talking to your sister directly, but this needs to be targeted, this needs to be worked out. All right. And of course, it goes without saying, don't tell your parents about this if they're so strict. You might need the help of an adult later, but discuss that over with the gynecologist if required first. But don't get your parents involved, not right now at least. Figure it out if it does come up. Okay? Alright, so moving to the next writer of the day. Let's call our next writer. The first one was Lamb, so the other one we can call Light. Okay, alright. So the next writer, we're going to call the next writer Light. Okay, Light says, hi. So we met through a dating app about a year ago and hit it off instantly. He proposed to me after a few weeks and I agreed. My family kind of knows about him. We were even physically intimate, planning our future, our kids. Just last week, for absolutely no reason, I ran a Google search on him. I went to his LinkedIn profile and from there I ended up on his Facebook college page and somehow found a way into a woman's profile, claiming that they got married this February. I haven't confronted him yet because I'm still collecting my thoughts and figuring out how to deal with this. From the looks of it, theirs was a love marriage since she was in his college too. His behavior makes no sense. He betrayed me, used me. I feel like such a gullible, stupid ass fool. Why couldn't he just have left me alone? The most important question though, should I tell the wife? Light, first of all, I'm so sorry to know that you're going through this. In your letter, you have said he used me. You have used that word, used. For any girl, for any woman to go through that feeling is so unfortunate. And I really hope that you can take out time to heal yourself, to love yourself, to not be angry at yourself for the decisions that you have taken. You say that you feel like a gullible, stupid ass fool. That's a very strong statement to make. Please don't be so harsh on yourself. You did the best that you could back then. There was a reason why you fell in love with him. See this as a learning experience in your life, instead of looking back at it with regrets. And I know it's easier said than done, which is why I'm saying give yourself time, give yourself a lot of love and a lot of space for healing. Okay? Let your mind calm down. Also, I want to say I'm so proud of you for taking a step back and not reacting impulsively. You have not reacted yet, you have not confronted him yet, because you want to figure out how you want to go about with it. You have written this letter to me. I really do think you have a lot of emotional maturity to handle the situation at this point. But before I answer your questions and before I talk a little bit more to you about this, I also want to use this opportunity and this platform to speak to all the young girls and young women again who are watching this, especially for young girls and women. This is my message, that you need to first figure out as you grow older, and this is a conversation you need to keep having with time to time, because as we grow older, we keep changing our opinions about these things. It's possible that you might feel one way about things right now, and in future you might feel another way about it. Okay, what is a conversation you need to have with yourself as to where you stand in your mind, where you stand when it comes to the question of premarital sex? Do you see physical relationships as a purely physical, biological thing? If that is your stand, that is your stand. Don't let anyone shame you for it. Don't let anyone make you feel that you're a bad person or question your character for that matter. Don't let that happen. That is your decision. So you take it as a very light and casual and an easy thing. And that's okay. That is your choice. What you do with your body, what you do with your sexuality, what you do with your time, what you do with your life is your choice. As long as you're not harming or hurting anyone, nobody has the right to judge you for it. Okay? And your opinions can change on this matter. The same way, there are a lot of women who feel very differently about it. For them, they want to wait till they get married. And that's completely okay too. I'm not saying that one is right, one is wrong, or either ways. No. This is your opinion. This is how you want to live your life. So if that's how you feel about things, that's okay. Don't let any guy force you, try to convince you, or tell you otherwise. Or any girl also for that matter, shame you for your choices. Why is it so important to know where you stand? And why is it so important to keep having this conversation with yourself? Because in the end, the choices you make will impact you. In the end, what you tell yourself impacts you. In the end, knowing what you want determines the course of your life and how you feel about things later. So, if you think of it as a casual thing, if you engage in casual relationships and casual flings, it's your choice. If things don't go right, you don't look back and regret your choices. It was a well thought out choice. The same for this other woman as well. I think as a society, we are so focused on right and wrong and judgment and character and slut shaming that we don't even talk about the real issues. The real issues is that we are not in tune with ourselves. We don't want to listen to what we want. We are trying to take inspiration and learn from everyone, but what do we really want? And on that note, nothing wrong with taking inspirations, nothing wrong with hearing different opinions, but in the end, your choice should be yours. Okay? This I think every girl needs to know. Going back to your letter, Light, first things first, you need to take out time, space for healing yourself. Okay? Understand that which part of it was your own choice. Okay? Like falling in love with the guy. You could not see that he was lying to you. Why could you not see? Was he really good at it? There's a good chance that he was really good at it. Okay? So don't blame yourself for trusting him when he was lying to you. As a human being, nobody is blessed with the ability to read minds. It wasn't your fault. Okay? When you chose to have a physical relationship with him, was it because he forced you? If he did, tell yourself that from next time, I'm going to be more clear in my head. If he didn't force you, if he didn't try to emotionally blackmail you and all of that, if you went for it yourself, that was your choice. If you think that choice wasn't a good choice, you can always change how you feel about things for future relationships. So figure those things out, answer those questions, take it step by step. It will help you heal tremendously. Validating your feelings, understanding what you want can go a long way in healing. Okay? Don't be ridden by guilt and anger and all of that. Let that pass. See how you can deal with this in a more constructive way on the personal front. And as for telling the wife, again, this may sound extremely cliched, but it really depends on you. Do you view yourself as someone who will stand for justice? If you think that's who you are, if that's an important part of your personality, by all means go and tell the wife. But here's what can happen. There's a good chance the wife will not believe you. There's a good chance that they will slut shame you. There is a good chance that the wife will see that you are lying. So if you go to the wife, go with all the proofs, go with everything that you have, go at it in full swing. Go to the wife. If you want to take your parents with you. Because your parents knew about the relationship. Go to the wife and confront her with all that you have. Be prepared that she may not believe you, may not accept you, or she may work it out with the husband and maybe she's very forgiving and all of that. It's possible, but there is, and of course always there is a much higher possibility that she will file for a divorce. If that happens, you might need to get extremely involved in the matter. When she's filing for the divorce, when she's going and meeting the lawyers, they might need you to come, talk to the lawyers and discuss things over, and all of that can also happen. So if you see yourself as someone who can handle anything that comes with it, situation 1 or situation 2, if you think you can handle either of the two situations, by all means go and tell the wife. And since you have written this letter to me, let me just give you my personal opinion on the matter. This is completely my personal opinion. You don't have to go by it. My personal opinion is that you should go and tell the wife. Because it's the right thing to do. They have recently only gotten married, right? So there's a good chance that she's not pregnant yet, not planning to have children yet. It's a good time for her to walk out of this marriage if she chooses to do so. If not, at least at the back of her mind, she's still aware. If nothing else, you know for a fact that this guy will not have a very peaceful married life going forward. So that will give you some, satisfaction maybe. And quite honestly, going by your letter, I think you have the emotional maturity to handle either of the two situations that come up with it. I think you do. The fact that you haven't taken an impulsive action and thinking through your actions means that you have the emotional maturity. In my opinion, I feel you will be able to handle it. You should go and tell the wife. Okay? But that's still my opinion. You need to figure out what you want. Another option is don't tell the wife. If you really feel that you have had too much of it, it's emotionally very draining for you, and you just want nothing to do with it, you just want to go on a little holiday, go somewhere else, take some time off, go for therapy, relax, and not be in this mess anymore, that's okay too. Okay? Because you are the priority over here, not him, not his wife, not the lessons that you can teach to him, none of those things. The priority is you. So guys, that's what I want to share with the two writers of the day. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, take care of yourself. Make yourself a priority if required, if you think you need to have that space for healing. I know I have been saying this a lot in some of my recent videos, but this lockdown, I really feel like I have gone into my own little shell, you know. I take out so much of time. I always say this, right? I've totally taken up gardening, with my plants, with my dog, with my music, with my movies, with my books, and I am loving it. I am loving what it has done to my mental health. I'm loving how it's helped me cope with the lockdown beautifully. I feel so much at peace because I'm giving myself this time, and I really want you all to experience that too. So love yourself, give yourself time. Do what you enjoy. Just for yourself, for nobody else. It's really worth it. Okay, enough for today's video. I think this video has gone really long as usual. So thanks for watching, guys, and bye-bye.